everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Niseri Missions. My name is Liz. I'm very excited to be back again. I started yesterday um, posting for the first time, and I'm pretty very excited. I talked about what Niseri Missions is all about. It's about enlightening the society with a particular focus on Africa, um, on disability, and also the sequelae that comes with disability. I did talk yesterday about the different kinds of disability and also the causes of disability as well. And I highlighted one of the causes of disability, which I'm going to talk about today, poliovirus, which is one of the viruses that one of the diseases that are vaccine preventable. And thankfully, a lot of job has been done, and we're actually seeing almost complete eradication, except for a recent case in Malawi and also in Mozambique, where they had recent case of white virus. But in general, the entire world, all stakeholders, Rotary, UNICEF, WHO, United Nations, and also people, survivors of polios, have done fantastic job on combating this very ugly disease. Again, today I'm going to talk about poliovirus, and the emphasis is going to be on post-polio. I'm talking about people that have suffered this disease, and also the stigma and the sequelae and the challenges that they are passing through. The main focus for us is changing the narrative of stories, seeing people with disability for whatever kind of disease or condition, for them to be seen in a different perspective, and also to be seen beyond the label, but to see the person itself, but not the label or the figure. So we're just going to dive right away into what I have for us today. And that brings us to what is polio virus, or what is polio? We keep hearing, oh, someone had polio, or someone on the wheelchair, or someone that is in Africa. We do have them on kind of like a rolling skate, and you know they're not able to use their limbs, and a lot of people don't have an insight into what's going on or what is wrong with these people. So I'm going to start with what poliovirus is. Just like the word, poliovirus is actually a very life-threatening, infectious disease that is being caused by a kind of virus called the poliovirus. And this virus is actually being transmitted via contaminated water or food. So when you have the feces of someone that has the poliovirus having a way of finding its way into the food or the water of someone that is not infected, they stand a risk of being infected. And the clinical outcome that we see is that we have the clinical outcome actually varies. We have people, about 70 to 80% of people that remain asymptomatic, and we have other mild symptoms like fever, headaches, malaise, not feeling well, and but the one that is very concerning, and the one that we all people really talk about, that is very noticeable, about the 1% that unfortunately comes down with the kind of virus that is called with the form of the virus that is called paralytic polio, which is actually very unfortunate, because what happens is that when this virus has been ingested, it first invade the intestines, and afterwards it penetrates via what we call the lymphatics, which are like fluids in the body, just like you have the blood in the veins and also in the artery. Those viruses find a way to migrate through the lymphatics and get into the nervous system, where they actually cause a very severe damage, unfortunately, to a patient that suffer poliovirus, the severe form of poliovirus infection. And the way we look at it is the nervous system actually is a form of like a transmitter. It transmits information. The nerves transmit information from either the spinal cord or from the brain into the organs that they want to function. Unfortunately, poliovirus tends to attack the part of the spinal cord that sends information to the muscles. And we particularly have what we call the attack on the anterior horn cells, which are the front part of the spinal cord. So let's look at it this way. We have this is the brain, this is the muscle, and the brain is trying to tell the muscle to do this. And so the you have the nerves traveling, they are like wires traveling to tell the muscles to do this. So it's a no-brainer that when the nervous system, which is the connection between the spinal cord and the muscle, is being broken down, then the muscle is not able to get the information that the brain is trying to tell it. And after some time, it's there, it's not used, and over time it becomes flaccid, and it loses shape, and it loses form, and of course it loses functionality as well. And that is the unfortunate thing that we see in the case of the paralytic form of polio infection. Now, polio is not like most viruses. Polio, the treatment for it is principally supportive, with bed rest and also lots of fluids and all of that, for those that need ventilators. Because when we talk about muscles being affected, we're not only talking about the limb muscles are affected, either the upper limbs, the lower limbs, and at times the diaphragm muscles are also affected. And that's why you see some patients are being put on ventilators to assist them with breathing as well. So, like I said earlier, there is no cure for polio, and that is why the emphasis is more on preventing people from getting this virus. And what are the ways that we prevent polio vaccine, polio infection? So the main form and the major forms that's very, very effective and has brought us to almost a point of eradication of polio in the world is through vaccination. And we have the injectable kind of vaccine, which is the Salk vaccine, and of course we have the Sabine, which is the one that is we oral, that we put through the mouth. I found that very fascinating growing up back then in Nigeria, and working in the local government as a youth corps member serving my country. And we had this door-to-door policies, going from every house, knocking on the doors and bringing out the kids and opening their mouths with parental consent, of course, to give them the polio vaccination. And the mobilization was quite amazing back then. So thankfully, it's so beautiful to see many nations, many countries in Africa celebrating being polio free. So basically, that is polio virus for you. It causes the main thing it causes is that we actually see, and that that it's very, very sad, is the paralytic form, whereby they're not able to use their limbs, or there's deformity of the limb as a result of polio virus. So now let's get down to the main thing, which is very concerning, the myth, and also a lot of ignorance surrounding a lot of diseases, which polio is one of them. And polio is not a curse. And that is why I've taken my time to explain um, the reason why, people lose their limbs when they get this infection. It is not because they are cursed. It is not because the gods are angry with the patient, with this person or those people that unfortunately suffer this condition. Okay, we need to get to the roots in the community to educate people to realize that those people, they are human beings like us. They are not figures. They are not just figures. We need to see beyond this label. We need to stop isolating these people. We need to stop the stigma. We need to stop segregating them from the rest of the society. It's not because they did anything wrong. It's not because their parents did anything wrong. They were just. It was just unfortunate that they had this. They had this viral infection that caused subsequent paralysis as well. These people have equal rights. They should have equal rights um, to the basic things of life. They have rights to be safe in our environment. They have a right to have access to basic amenities. They have a right to employment. It's very heartbreaking to see that when people that suffered polio virus go for job interviews, they're not able to get a job. That is very concerning. And again, I think we should address these challenges starting from birth. Starting from birth, some of these children are abandoned by age 2, 3, 4, when their parents see that they're not able to work. They have to do a lot of caring from them. Of course, the parents do suffer a lot of stigma as well. And out of frustration, out of depression, some of these children are abandoned. No, these children can achieve the full potentials for their lives if they are being supported. I give you the likes of Roosevelt, the 32nd president of the United States. If his parents abandoned him, he wouldn't get to where he is. If he didn't get the support of the society, if he didn't get the support of the community, he wouldn't get to where he is. If he did not have access to quality education, he wouldn't get to where he is. So these children deserve the right to live. They deserve the right to grow. They deserve the right to be integrated into the society. So we need to stop the stigma. We need to stop this. We need to stop this ostracizing these people from the society. They are the same. They are the same human being that you and I are. They are not in any way different from you. These children deserve not to be trafficked. No child deserves to be trafficked. And these children with polio virus, what makes them suffering from polio disease? What makes them different from the rest of the society? Why should they be confined to begging? Because they do not have access to the basic things of life. And they have no choice but to go out there to beg. It shouldn't be like this. So this is a cry out. This is a cry out to the government. We need laws. We need laws not just being passed. We want laws to be, enacted as well. So these people can have equal rights to employment. They can have equal rights to job. They can have equal rights to training. They should be provided a platform to be able to sell their products. I've watched so many videos of children that, with disability that went to school, and they come out, they're not able to get a job. Even when they get a job, they cannot access transportation to get to their place of work. Even when they work and they make money and they put the money in the banks, they cannot get into the banks to get their money. Why? Because the staircases are not accessible. Why? Because the road is not accessible to them. Oh, of course, they do not have access to medical health care. To the government, I put this to you. Please put out a law to support these people. Make sure these laws are being enacted and put policies in place so these people are not being exploited, because that's what we're saying. They are being exploited because of their disability. They are being made to beg on the streets and deliver money to a boss somewhere. And to the politicians, when you make promises to these people before you come in, please keep to your promises. Again, see them beyond figures, see them as humans. You don't only go to them when you need votes. A lot of times, that's when these people are remembered. When it's time for politicking and people need more votes, then they remember them. No, you should go beyond that. What happened to putting policies in place? What happened to putting jobs in place? What happens to supplemental security income for these families to help them, to assist them? What happens to job creation? This is going to take a collaborative effort of each and every one of us. Like I always ask, today you're not disabled. It may be you tomorrow. So this is an awakening call to the churches, to the mosque, to the traditional leaders. We need to change our narratives. These children are not cursed. They are not cursed. They are a miracle in itself. Stop invading the spaces of these people, laying your hands on them every time you see them. To be healed in Jesus' name, to be healed in the name of Allah. They are a blessing. They are already a living miracle. What we need is to come together as individuals to support these people so they're able to achieve their full potentials in every ramifications. Are you a top employee somewhere? Be a mentor. Be a mentor to one of these people. Imagine if each and every one of us become a mentor to one person, each person with disability. The world would be an amazing place. They realize they are able to achieve, they are able to get to their full potentials through this way. Because they look someone to look up to. Because there's someone that believes in them. And that gives them a drive. That gives them a focus. So that's what I have for us today. I hope that I've been able to shed some light on polio virus and the sequelae that comes with disability. Again, I defined polio virus to us. I talked about the treatment, and also I emphasized on the challenges that they have they're facing, particularly in an environment like in Africa, whereby unfortunately culture and religion changes the narrative of things, and we tend to focus on the label instead of the person, and so many challenges, like I said, again, the stigma that has led to isolation, that has led to segregation, that has led to them being ostracized, that has led to most of them even dying because they do not have access to the quality things of life. I emphasize on access to the basic things of life: education, employment, training. I'm particularly called on the government to put in place laws, to enact laws that allows those people to have a right in this society. And I hope that with every passing day, that we all take it as a responsibility, not just on organizations, but see it as an individual responsibility for each and every one of us to stand up and be a voice for those people with disability. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.